I'm Jen, and I'm 39 years old. I just started mentoring back in October, but I've been thinking about doing it for a really long time. I had seen the billboards, not just for Be a Sixth Grade Mentor, but certainly that was the thing that finally got me, is I thought, what a great age group to work with. And I don't have any children of my own, but I have a lot of friends kind of my age who have kids who are about 11, 10 and 11 and 12. And I thought, you know what, I really just would like to know what this experience is like. So I gotta say that starting off, it was kind of a selfish decision for me, because I wanted to be able to interact with a kid. I love kids, and again, since I didn't have any, I thought would be a great way. It's kind of like the grandparent thing, where you can have, time with a kid and then maybe not have all of the responsibility. And certainly I knew what it was like to have a mentor. Growing up, I grew up in a very small town, or rural town. My parents, neither one of them had gotten their degrees, although my dad had quite a bit of college. So, they were both intelligent people and certainly encouraged me in my studies. And also, I'm an artist, so my dad was a photographer. But, I really felt like I needed a wider expanse of people to kind of be role models and tell me, what were their experiences like as they were growing up. And especially a lot of the women that were in my life, a lot of I wouldn't say older women, but, people that were 10 years older than me, or a little, maybe a little more than that. It was wonderful to hear from them, their different experiences, especially those who had graduated from college and went on for careers, so that I could kind of understand what that path might be like. When I first started mentoring, I certainly didn't know what to expect, and it was an interesting experience the first day that we mentored, because we had all of the mentees on one side of the room and all of the mentors on the other side of the room. It was kind of like almost like a blind date or something, where you're matched up and then you just get to know someone. But I remember I walked down the hall with my mentee, and she turned to me and she said, "Are you an artist?" And I said, "I am. How did you know that?" And she said, "Because I asked for one." And I thought, and through talking to her, I realized that she didn't really have a whole lot of experience in her life. She loved art, and she had read some really interesting articles about contemporary art, which was just amazing to me. But she really didn't have anyone kind of bringing her along in that. So we did a lot of work on art. We would do drawings where, we would fold the paper, and each of us would do a piece of the drawing, and you couldn't see the persons before you. And they turned out really well. And I remember she took them and she said, "I'm going to hang these up in my locker." And that meant a lot to me, because I know my locker was a really special place when I was in school, and because it was a place I would go to during the day, obviously, and check in and get my things. So that meant a lot to me. And just watching her over the year, just the things that happened with her and how she developed, and our relationship developing. She went from, she was really shy and she didn't smile a whole lot at first, even though we connected. But then toward the end of the year, she would walk in and she just always had this smile on her face, kind of like, "Oh, I know you." And it was really a wonderful experience. So, as I said, going into it is a very selfish experience, or a selfish decision on my part, I think. But it's probably, I would say, for someone who's looking for some way to get involved and help build community, and learn more about themselves, and learn more about, what's going on with kids, what are the issues that they're dealing with. It's a great experience, and I think it's, it goes both ways. And she certainly, at the end of the year, as we were talking about, her 7th grade and getting out of 6th grade, I said, "What are your thoughts? Do you think you want to do this next year?" Because my understanding is there's going to be a 7th grade program next year. So she was talking with a couple of her friends, and they were all saying, like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to do it again. She looked at me and she says, I'm keeping you. And I thought, good, because I'd like to keep you too. And that was just, it was sweet. So, it's a great way to give back and a great way to get.